Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of This Fat Girl Life, the podcast. I am your host, Kimberly, and I am so thrilled to have anybody and everybody here with me tonight, especially our guest tonight, Miss Nicole Ayers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. I'm so excited to have you on. And tonight we are going to be discussing love notes to our body, the importance of loving our bodies and just loving ourselves as a whole, and why it is so vitally important, especially in today's age. I think it's even more important than it ever was. Yeah. So, Nicole, real quick, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I am a writer, and I have a heart's mission to teach women in particular, but all people, that our bodies are okay. Our bodies are worthy just as they are, and that it's okay to accept them. It's okay to love them, and to be the the voice that disrupts that nastygram narrative that tells us we aren't enough. And part of my why for that and healing that in my own life was because I have two daughters. And I just decided that that was not going to be the legacy that I left them with, right? Like, they most likely are going to have body image issues because we are all swimming in the same toxic soup. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't going to be because I taught them how to hate their bodies.
I absolutely love that. And so I know you said that you kind of started this because of your daughters. Now, I have had the privilege of reading your book. Let me first off just say, love it.
Thank you. Thank you for reading it.
Of course. And just so everybody is aware, this is available on Amazon. Mm-hmm. You can get it in paperback or Kindle. And if you don't have a Kindle, the Kindle app is free on your phone. So you guys get the book. I highly encourage it. I think what I loved most about it, I mean, not only just the content itself, but it's not this technical mumbo jumbo book. Like, this is something that you can read as a grown-ass woman, such as myself, or you can read it to your child, and they're gonna understand what it says. Now, was that intentional, or did it just kind of happen that way?
It really naturally unfolded. I say that they were my why, and they absolutely were my why to really kind of push this project beyond myself. But truly, the journey started just on my own. I had this, I call it an awakening, because it was just like this slow process of I just started realizing how much I disliked myself and how much that was rooted in disliking my body. And I was so horrified because I was like, oh my gosh, I have two girls. Like, I think that their bodies are miraculous and amazing. So what am I teaching them? And why do I think my body is not miraculous and amazing? And so it just started as a journaling practice for me. And I was like, well, how am I going to learn to love this body of mine? And I was like, well, I'll write love letters to my body. And I use the term love notes loosely. Writers, we get to take liberties with our definitions, because I did absolutely write mushy-gushy love notes to different parts of my body. And some of my love notes were really just more about gratitude, because that was how I learned to really accept all of my body, even those parts that I didn't love, those parts I wanted to change. I could still be grateful. I could find something to be thankful for about them. But it was just a practice. I needed something concrete to do that I could do on a regular basis that was helping me connect with my body. And for me, that was just simply sitting down with my journal for a couple minutes most mornings and writing a love note. But they weren't, like I said, they weren't all actually love notes. I mean, some of them were hate notes, right? There are body parts that I really struggled with. And so my love notes to them would be like, dear knees, I don't like you today. I would like to like you, but I just don't. And letting that be enough and be okay was just starting the conversation, right? So then I could get curious about, well, why don't I like my knees? What's, what is causing me to have this feeling about them? What's what's going on? And so I just needed it to be simple. And eventually, as I continued to write these love notes and my relationship with my own body started to dramatically change, I heard this very clear whisper one day that this isn't just for you. So I wanted love notes to my body to be, like you said, a picture book for grown women. That's something that you could pick up, that you could flip to any page at any time and, have a little whimsical, joyful moment, maybe a little bit of appreciation for your own body, but that it could, again, connect to lots of different audiences beyond just our own.
Well, and one thing that you said that I really keyed in on, you were talking about your knees, how you don't like them that day. I actually have a Facebook group called Letters to Myself. It's a 5-day challenge that I run monthly. And one of those letters is a love letter to yourself. And then there's a letter of appreciation. And one of the things is, it's a running joke now, but it's so true of, I have learned to find things that I don't like about myself. And the constant is my chin. I hate my chin. I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh no, not today. But there's an appreciation for it, because if I am exhausted and sitting in my armchair and doze off, I have this really great pillow.
Yeah.
So there's a matter of, even if you don't like it, find an appreciation for it. Find a use. Something that makes it valuable. Because there are plenty of valuable things in my life. I don't like them, but they have value, and I could not function without them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, in the body positive community, I mean, ideally, we all would love our bodies and we would love everything about our bodies. And also, that's just not real life.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the one thing about body positivity that I kind of call bullshit on.
It is bullshit. And a lot of people I won't say a lot of people, some people have totally co-opted the movement from where it started, and they've turned it into this, that toxic positivity, right? Well, you have to love your body. And so now, not only are we feeling shame about our bodies specifically, we're feeling shame about not liking our bodies.
Exactly.
Which is a messy, it's a messy spiral that we don't need to engage in. And so letting ourselves not like a body part is fine. Letting ourselves not like our body is fine. It's okay. And also, we can be grateful, right? Our bodies, if we didn't have a body, we would literally not be here on this earth. Right? So, like I said, leaning into gratitude is truly a way to connect with your body, even if you don't like it. And just giving yourself permission to let your relationship with your body be whatever it is so liberating. And that's often, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I completely agree.
Yeah. And that's when I think the real change starts. Because when I finally admitted I really don't like my body, then I was able to get curious, right? Why don't I like my body? And some of the reasons were, this part, my knees, I've had 4 knee surgeries, right? I've had to sit out important events. I've had to use a wheelchair. I've had to use crutches. I've had pain. All those things, those are valid reasons to dislike something, right? It's caused a lot of pain in my life. But then, some of my parts, I my belly, or why do I dislike my belly so much? It's done all these amazing things. This food chemistry magic that happens in it every single day. I was able to carry 2 children with it. So why do I not like this part? And it's because it doesn't fit in the really narrow, made up, ridiculous beauty standards of today's world. And I was when I started to get curious and go down that path, well, then my inner rebel fired up, and I was I don't like my belly because somebody somewhere decided it wasn't a just right belly. No way.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I see this so much, and this is not to discredit social media. Social media can be a beautiful thing, but it can also be toxic
Yeah, absolutely.
because we are bombarded by images on social media, on television, in movies, in print of this ideal norm.
Yeah,
And it sucks
it does.
because we start seeing these images as very small children. Even in cartoons, I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed. Look at Barbie. Who can look like that?
Like, yeah, our bodies proportionally don't work that way.
And so even as small children, we are taught this is what the standard of beauty is. So this is where you need to fit in. And I don't agree with it.
No. Well, and it's really insidious too because it's always shifting just a little bit, right? Like it's never quite, it doesn't, there's no homeostasis. Like, so even for the folks who just are naturally born with bodies that happen to fit into that ideal, or the people who expend so much time and energy, right, to get a body that fits into this ideal, it's still never enough, right? It doesn't protect anybody from other people's judgments. So not only do we have these made up ideals that we from birth are told that we need to try and strive to meet, like even if we did manage to meet them, it doesn't protect us. It doesn't, do we get to belong in the club, but at what cost? Right? Like
Exactly.
what are we trading, or what joys are we giving up? What freedoms are we giving up? And then again, like you said, you don't even, you don't believe it. It's because it's not true. It's made up.
Exactly. Now, one of the things that um, I noticed is like you went down in this book into detail. Like, if I recall, you talked about your eyelashes on one
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
So, how hard was it to pick every single little body part?
It really, so like I said, it was a journaling practice that I would do for months and months and months. Just almost every day, I would write a little note. So I would let my intuition guide me. Like, what do I want to write to today? And I started with, and I will tell you that I wrote to my body's parts rather than my whole body because that was entirely too much. When
Yeah,
I started, I was like, I want to fall in love with my body. I want something to be different. The idea of writing like dear body was so overwhelming, right? It was just literally there was too much to unpack there. So I was like, maybe I could just write to some of my body's parts that I like, right? So I could say dear eyelashes, because that one was easy to write. Or I always joke about the pinky toe, right? Poor little pinky toes. I had banged mine into so many things, and yet it's still supporting me and helping me balance and all that. Like, so I was like, so that's how I started. Like, what are the things I'm really grateful for? And as I got used to that practice, then I was able to start writing even to then the parts that I wasn't so grateful for, that I didn't like so much, and then get curious about, well, what could I be grateful for about this part? And I also took a lot of liberty with not just letting it be like my freckles or things like that. Like I let it be all of my parts. So like things that had been added, like scars,
mm-hmm.
right? Things that I produce, like my voice. Technically my voice isn't necessarily a part of my body, but it is very intrinsically part of me. And without my body, I couldn't create it.
Actually, it is. Your vocal cords are part of your body.
Well, it is. Well, and actually, and I did a lot of research in that because there's actually a companion book to Love Notes to My Body called Love Letters, where because some of my notes got long and there was a lot to dive into and unpack. And so when I was writing to Dear Voice, I was like, well, do I write to Dear Vocal Cords? And there's actually multiple parts in your throat that work to get all like kind of work together in harmony to create your voice. So I just decided I'm going to take creative license and say Dear Voice. Same
That
with,
works.
well, and the same with tears. I was just going to write to tears. And then I was like, well, what produces the tears? So I ended up calling it Tear Factory because there are several things that need to happen in our bodies and our eyes to produce tears. Like our bodies are so freaking cool.
I know. Okay, so anybody who is watching, listening, anywhere, anytime, I am now issuing a challenge. I want you to write a love note to your own body.
I love it.
Down on the bottom. Down on the bottom there.
And let it be, it could be super simple. It could be, you know, like, dear body, hi, how you doing? Love me, right? It can really be that simple. The point is just to start a conversation with your body because like your body is your lifelong companion.
Okay, so now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Out of all the parts of your body, what is your favorite and why?
Oh.
See, I like putting people on the spot with questions like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give you an answer, but it depends in the moment. Like I try now and be so much more conscious. So like when I'm writing, a lot of times I'm really grateful for my hands because they're allowing what's inside to flow out of me. If I had to pick just one part, I'm going to go with my heart. From the really like literal physical sense of it beats every day, all day long, nonstop, pumping blood through my veins. Like it literally is keeping me alive. And then when we think about like that heart in the metaphorical sense, it is literally also what empowers me to do this work and connect to other people and be in a relationship, not just with myself, but with others, and to feel all the feelings that I do feel. So I'll say my heart.
Love that. Love that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question for myself.
Yeah, I was.
My eyes. Reason being, I have the exact same eye shape, eye color, and everything that my mother had. My daughter has them, and my grandson has them. And so with these eyes, I have been able to see the birth of my grandchild. I have been able to watch things change. My eyes are one of the first things that my husband ever noticed about me. So my eyes are probably my absolute favorite part of my body.
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
it's always so much more. I would say it's always so much more than just a part, right? It's the connections, and it always goes so much deeper.
Exactly. Well, I do have one more final question for you.
Yes.
And I ask this of every single guest that I have on my show. And I kind of asked it already a little bit, but you can expand on this one.
Okay.
What do you love most about yourself as a whole?
I love that I am willing to like show up for myself. And that wasn't always the case, but it is so much the case now.
I absolutely love that. With your permission, I kind of want to make like a little thing of that for the page.
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I absolutely love that. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Nicole, it has been such a pleasure to not only have you on the show, but to get to know you, as a person. We've had a couple conversations that I have just absolutely loved, and I definitely would love to continue getting to know you and building relationship there. So I do have one new announcement, you guys. Later on this evening on Instagram, make sure you are following me. My handle on Instagram is thisfatgirllife.blog. Starting tonight, I am going to do a live called This Fat Rap. It is the wrap up to Sunday's episode. So I'll be talking about the interview with Nicole. I'll be talking about my Rope of Hope interview today that I did with Jeffrey Duskovic. That was just amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to hop over to that page and watch that as well. But this is going to become a weekly show on Instagram. So definitely hop on there, ask questions, make comments. Let's talk. You guys, if you are enjoying me being able to have guests like Nicole on the show and talk about these kinds of topics, support your creators. Go to buymeacoffee.com/thisfatgirllife. As a supporter, you will have access to supporter-only content. You will be the first in the know about who upcoming guests are. You guys definitely want to help support that and be a part of this. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.
Thank you.